welcome to the 15th Com podcast. This is your host, PCast 1510, the last metalbender, aka Pablo Castro. I'm gonna be talking about the Joe Rogan episode with Mr. Rob Epstein. Epstein? Oh, this is not gonna work out, dude. Let me turn these off. That episode, they were talking about memory, like remote viewing, like all these things, and those are the topics that I'm gonna talk about in the spiritual Christian type of point of view, explain those things, but a little bit of scientific with some evolutionary psychology behind it, but all mixed in together. My own point of view, and if I don't talk about them right now, I don't know when I will. So I'm just getting in here. So to start off, I'm probably not going to talk about that. I always end up talking about like everything else but that topic. So don't have high expectations, but stick around. It's entertaining. And here are the thoughts. What I'm gonna say is it's one of these house podcasts where there's no production, there's no script, there's no thing. It's just off the dome, it's freestyle. I'm just talking to y'all. So if you stick around, hopefully you get something. At the end of the day, it's just entertainment, storytelling, just a podcast, dude. It's just to talk. So this is not real. This is not true. But here we go. Basically, the homie, Mr. Doctor, is he a doctor? He's doing all this research on memory and consciousness and what it is and the afterlife. Not really. Like that's not what he's focusing on. Like, but that's what he's talking about. He has a whole different agenda, but those topics come in and those are some of the things that they do or they come across where he's trying to explain. One of the biggest things is like he's saying that memory does not exist in the brain, like, or memory doesn't exist at all. And he explains how we call it memory because we don't have the language, we don't have the interpretation. And this is where I'm going to come in as a linguist and trying to break it down. The you see, I can even talk. What he's trying to say, what he's trying to mean, break it down. Not really translate it, not really explaining it to you guys. Like that's not the thing. I'm just trying to say my theories, but to help and explain myself, I'm gonna be doing those things. So he's saying the concept of memory, like we cannot find memory. Like the scientists are looking for it, and it's not there. This is my theory. I already said it. Memory is stored in DNA. It's not necessarily in the brain. It's everywhere, all in our DNA. That's where it's stored. My reason, my thought behind it is from the phobias in the study on mice with the phobias or any other animals or any of those things. And that's why it explains your phobia. Why are you afraid of snakes? Why are you afraid of heights, of spiders, of the ocean, of water, or whatever phobia you have? It's explained as your ancestors back in the day, those were the stress. And this is where like the psychology, the evolutionary psychology comes in, explaining how evolutionary we have changed and evolved, and explaining in a scientific psychological way of those things were our stressors in our lives, because basically the two main points of life from an evolutionary psychology standpoint is to survive and reproduce. Everything that we do can be explained into and broken down into those things. All we're doing is trying to survive, trying to get shelter, trying to get food. Then everything else that is not those survival things are explained sexually. We are trying to reproduce. Where we're trying to show off, where we're trying to do like any other things, we're trying to peacock to the other mating partners so we can reproduce. Going back to the memory and the whole thing, like it's not really necessarily stored in the brain because the brain is just the motor, dude. You without using analogies, it is like you don't want to explain. So this is where the linguist part comes in. You have to, and this is where the Christianity, spiritual, religious side of it comes in, because one of my favorite, if not my favorite, passages and verses of the Bible, it's going to be Matthew 11, where the disciples ask Jesus, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And Jesus replies with, "Because to you it has been given to know the mysteries and secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not." So, the point of this podcast is for me to help you be able to think for yourself, to come up with your own opinions, with your own thoughts, with your own conclusions. And basically, to me, like, why I had to do this podcast, like, one is to tell you, like, yo, you can think for yourself and you don't have to let other people influence you. Like, but that's well, an influence is like, but you for yourself, you can get those advice, the know from right and wrong, like from Adam and Eve. We ate from the tree of knowledge. We were kicked out of paradise because we became like them, knowing right from wrong, good and evil. And for that sin, we were cast down. So let's live with that. Let's believe that. Double down, stand on business, bro. Stand on business on the Bible. And this is where it gets all crazy because he's talking about transmitters. And I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm gonna come back and just put tabs on these things because we're gonna link them together. And that's where he's talking about like having like transmitters and connecting to other universes and all that. So I should have said this in the beginning. Go watch that episode, and it's very interesting. It's kind of redundant. He kind of repeats himself like 3 times. It's like, so you could have cut it down to a third of the time if you're just trying to get your point. But the good thing that I like about that episode is that Joe Rogan was grilling him. Like Joe Rogan was standing on business, dude. And going back to the linguistics thing, or just to finish the thought, it's like you can make your own conclusions. You can come up and say, like, I know what I'm looking at. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, yes, that color is black. This color is, and this is where we need like the gatekeepers, the standards, the morals, because you maintain, like, that's the whole point of accreditation. You have a certain people that like say, yes, this is good teaching. This is what it is because we know what we're talking about. We're adults. We're the grown-ups. Like, this is real. Like, we understand. It's crazy. Like, I've came across this last week on 2 or 3 videos. Like, they were just to provoke people. One of them, like, it was this girl saying like, oh man ain't nothing, blah blah blah, this and that. Like, we don't need man, like, and everybody in the comments, like, because I was in the, and I'm like, dude, and everybody was like, what about your baby daddy? Like, look at you, like, and one, I'm like, and because she was commenting, she was standing on business on that video. She was replying to every single comment, and it's like, she was like, oh, like, why you triggered? Like, you see, single man, because like her caption was like, single man hate seeing a single mom like living her best life and all that. It's like, where's your husband? Like, where's the baby daddy? Like, why do you have to be like? There's all these things that you can, right? Like, we're thinking there's like, homegirl, you're a single, like somebody like we know what we're talking about, dude. Like, this society. So this is where you got to believe like there's levels to society. There's levels to things. There's like don't even waste your time. Some people are trolling. Y'all know, like, I'm the biggest troll out there. I love to troll people. Like, just it's funny, dude. And some people might be getting a kick out of it. Like, look, these people are like funny. I was gonna say funny. And I was gonna say hilarious too. Anyways, so homegirl might be trolling. Two, she might be like for real. And at that point, we're like, if you start seeing the comments, you're like, hey, bro, like, let the market set the price. That's where culture, that's where tribes, that where standards and morals comes in. And I even saw a video from, I think it was from Finland, where it's like the Finland police, like, it's not putting up with it. And like the people, it's crazy what's going on in Europe with the immigrants and all that. And you start seeing now, oh, dude, I saw a crazy video out of Mexico, like the citizens police, like basically because of all the stuff that's going down in Mexico, they the citizens, the people in the town, like they're coming up in arms and like defending themselves and all that. And basically like some stuff was going down and they basically escaped out of town, but somehow they found him. They got him. They brought him back, and bro, look, I even got chills, dude. Whew. Dude. And that's the people coming together in the village, in the towns, in the community, saying like, "Yo, like, you're not gonna do this to us. You're not gonna do it to our neighbor, or you're not gonna come into this town, dude." I'm listening to like all this history of like I always do, but I'm researching the Mayans, I mean the Aztecs and the Mayans because they kind of come across the timelines and they're part of the story. Basically, the Aztecs were just like the Vikings. The Vikings were just like military people because they had females too, and apparently some of these stories like homegirls were out there, Vikings, female Vikings out there leading, like it's crazy. And like I said, the Vikings were Christians, bro. Crazy is the story, like how they come up, like how it happens. And basically it happens from like a bastard child. Like this is Game of Thrones type of things, bro. Like these stories are not crazy. No, these are like Lord of the Rings. And I remember this from like the beginning when those Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings were coming out because my stepmom would read all these things. And I'm like, yo, like mind blown. Where do they come from? Like with these stories and these, people from this place, like fighting. It's like, bro. And my stepmom was just like, dude, it's just history. Like they're getting these things from history. What it happens, they just change them to monsters and they add their own seasoning to it. But it's part of history. And this is what's happening with the Mayans and the Aztecs, the Vikings, England. It's crazy. If England wants to talk smack, be like, please tell me what the Vikings did to you. And how much were you paying the Vikings? The United States would never, dude. That's why we don't negotiate with terrorists. Because we've learned from history. And so let's go back. Let's go back to making your own thoughts, making your opinions. I don't even know how crazy. You see what I told you from the beginning? Like I wasn't even gonna. I'm gonna be. Lord of the Rings. Oh, this is what memories in the DNA. So Lord of the Rings does not exist. So let's go back to the linguistics part. Like you're adults, bro. Like you can make your own decisions and thoughts and conclusions, and we can think. Don't let other people make you feel something that you're not. I'm trying to think about a song by Calle 13 because it was in Residente. Residente in the band Calle 13, in the group Calle 13. And I think he's talking about Los Idiotas. And it's crazy that, like, it's so true. And parents, beware of letting the iPad babysit your kids. I was thinking about this today. I was at Raising Cane's, and there was just this kid, this family of four, and the kid was just on the phone watching telenovelas. I don't know what she was watching, but she was watching some type of telenovela, bro, and she was into it. Toda chismosa, like, and homegirl was like 4 or 5 years old or something like that. And she tried to, like, she says, and I'm like, bro, pobrecita. And it just made me think, like, these kids are gonna grow up without having creativity. Because there should be a balance. And this is where it's gonna be a disservice. And we start seeing this from Japan, where they're having issues with dating. Now they're letting foreigners come in. Japan had one of the, like, the true bloods that they didn't let, like, no foreigners and all that. It's, you want to talk about, like, border policy? Talk to Japan, bro. And that's why they kept their culture, they kept their traditions. But at this point, like, they don't know how to talk to each other. Look at what's going on in Japan. They're so advanced with their technology. I've always said this, your blessings can be your curses. Your gifts can be your hindrance too. Your talents can be your stumbling blocks. We have to learn how to adapt. We have to, did I say that right? And learn how to use them, and the balance between them. Like, pobrecitos, these kids are not, like, I hope, because we're still humans at the end of the day. There was another episode I wanted to call The Game, and then I have a Miranda Lambert episode 2. You know what? I should cut them short. Yeah, let me cut them short because I'm at 17 minutes. Let me do them quick because I'm going to talk about those other things too. So let's get back to the point. Memory is stored in the DNA because of your phobias, and that's where you remember things. And then basically all your traits, the color, your facial features, your height, your body type, your personality. Because they say, you talk like your dad, you walk like your dad, you look like your dad, you eat, you sit, your mannerisms, like all these things. And you can see this in nature. Like, you don't teach Bambi how to walk. Bambi just knows how to walk and all these things. And, we're talking about the gestation period where it's very low, except for us. We take 18 years, probably even more. Like, bro, I'm 32. My mama's still taking care of me, bro. Like, Bambi's out there walking in the first couple of minutes, bro. Like, I don't know. But y'all know what I mean. But we're here. We're humans. I was going to talk about the game. Like, you just got to, like, realize that we're doing this. And that's when Rob Epstein says that there's no such thing as memory, and let's link it with, like, the linguistics. It's like, no, you, like, explain, like, what a memory is. And scientists haven't been able to find it, blah blah blah. They also haven't been able to find a pheromone, but we all talk about pheromones. Oh, this pheromones, like, when you attract the scent of others, you like it, it attracts you, like you like them, you're compatible, and that's why, we can smell that something's rotten and it stings and it's gross, because it's just nature. Evolution has taught us those things to survive, again, survive and reproduce. So, but we know what we're talking about when we say pheromones. We just don't have the equipment to detect a pheromone yet, or we don't know how to localize those things. Same thing for any other technology that we haven't discovered, just like air. Air wasn't invented or discovered in certain date. No, just the naming of it, the identification of it. Like there's so many people that know how to do certain things. The only difference is that they don't know how to identify it. A professional or somebody that knows what they're talking about, that's what it is. They know what they're talking about, that they can identify certain things and explain to you what's going on. So this whole, oh, there's no memory. Yes, there is memory. Oh, but don't say it in a metaphor and all that. Yo, we don't have the language. Like, how am I going to explain to you? How can we come up with this? We need these metaphors. We need these different things. That's how we create words. That's how we put words together. Motor, oh, computer, this and that. Like, this is what it is. It's a dream. We're tapping into a universe, telekinesis, telecommunication, whatever. I don't know those terms, bro, but like everything. And you come up with something new. And then that's how you can identify, well, this is this. It's just the naming of it. You can't dismiss it and say, like, do not give me metaphors. Do not give me this. We don't know how to talk. We have to take those steps and use metaphors so we can understand the seed in the rower, the seed that fell on the side of the road, that fell on rocks, that fell on fertile ground. Like, what does it mean? The mustard seed, the camel and the needle of the eye of the needle. How to move, if you have the fate of a mustard seed, you can tell this mountain to move and throw itself into the ocean. If you have the faith, the size of a mustard seed. Sometimes we put mountains in front of our hearts that we can't let go, that they're so big, so you can climb them. Go climb Mount Everest. A ver si es cierto. No, it's hard, it's difficult. But can you do it? Yes, you can. You can tell that mountain to move. Hey, this whole weight, this whole resentment, like everything that you have against people or whatever, like if you have that faith, you can move all that. Like stand on business on what the Bible says. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what God is saying. If you have the faith the size of a mustard, stand on business, bro. If you're gonna believe this, stand on business. Have the faith. That's all it is. You see how language changes? We're talking about faith. Faith is just, standing on business, being firm on what you believe, doubling down on what you're saying. Hey, talk that talk, bro. Walk that talk. A ver si es cierto. Get on that plank. Peter, coming onto the water, walk on the water with me. That story goes to say, like, hey, even when God is walking and we see God and he holds our hand while he's walking on the water. And he tells me to get off the boat and come into the water. Like, he's not jet skiing. You cannot have a conversation while it's jet skiing. Because I was like, oh, that Jesus was just not jet skiing. Like, y'all know what I mean when you're surfing on the water. It's like, that's what he's doing. No, but he's having a conversation. And then there's more other details. So it's saying, even when God is going to be walking on water and you see it, and you're walking on water, like you sure, oh, I'm walking on water with Jesus. Sheesh, we're doing it. We're standing on business. We're standing on water. Even when you're doing that, when God is holding your hand, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Son of Man, is holding your hand while you're walking on water with him. We're still not going to believe. We're still going to doubt. We're still going to do this. We're going to fall into the water, bro. Put lifeguard into one of Jesus Christ's descriptions of things that he did. He was a lifeguard. He got beat her out the water, bro. Make up your own mind. Make up your own decisions. We're talking about all these things that we're seeing. Bro, it's true. Oh, this is the main point that I wanted to make. Hopefully I make it. That's why I was like, if I could do this podcast, I'm going to do it. The main point of this whole thing is that they're going to come out extraterrestrial people, UFOs, all this Martians, whatever you want to call them, all these things, they're going to get disclosed. And they're going to be like, because that's what he was saying. It's like, hey, like at this point, you can hide it. Everybody has a camera. Everybody has a door, a ring, doorbell camera. Like there's so many, surveillance camera, CCTVs. Like it's going to be difficult to hide. Because again, if you can't record it, did it happen? But now that we have all these recording devices looking up in the sky, they can't really hide anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can. But the possibility of us bumping into them, it's higher. So they're going to come out, oh, they're aliens. There's actually like other things. Now, they're doing it little by little. And I even talked about this. Oh, did I talk about this? Because Dan Carlin, again, it's history. They're like, hey, let's do what happened within history with the UFOs. We're talking about nuclear bombs of like we were the big kids on the block with the atomic bombs versus the whole world and saying like we were the bullies. Like, hey, say something. We have the gun. We have the nuclear bomb, atomic bombs. Like we have nuclear weapons. What are y'all going to do? Talk smack, bro. Talk smack. Say something. Say my name again. And then they came up with them. And we were like, oh, okay. Y'all are right. Yeah, all right. Y'all all right. Like, what could be cool? What could be cool? Like, and people were scared back in the day of like, damn, these people have like nuclear bombs. Like, what if they attack us and like, what's going to be? It's scary. But then later on, like you're born with nuclear bombs already existing. You're going to say like, what's the big deal? They've always been there. And the way that Dan Carlin says it is like the nuclear bomb and the whole story that I just said is like, it's like somebody came and put a gun to your head and said like, hey, say something again. I have the gun to your head. But what if you're born with the gun in your head? Do you think it's going to be any different? Or do you think it's going to be normal? You're going to think it's normal because you were born with it. Like, you don't know any different. You were already born with nuclear weapons being in the hands of governments. And that threat being there every day. So you just live with it. You're like, whatever. Like, that's the norm for you. And that's going to happen with aliens. Like, oh, I thought aliens were like always have, like, I thought we were cool. Where it's like, no, back in the day it was like so crazy in the 1950s. It was wild with Roswell and the 60s, whatever. But then in 2030, cool. What about 2040, 2050? Like those people, it's already going to be a century ago. Like, bro, they think that the 2000s are old. So they're going to let these generations just, hey, go away. Like, you don't believe in aliens. But this new generation, they're cool. Oh, we see everybody. We're talking about aliens. We're showing them videos and nobody's going all crazy. Religion is not that cool. Like, all right, it's going to disrupt the, like, religions. Like, well, what do they need? They need everybody to not be religious. That's where they're going to push everything out. Conspiracy theories part of the episode. Wouldn't it be a Fine Tooth Comb podcast episode without any conspiracy theories? Dude, it's wild. It's wild. So let's go back to the Joe Rogan episode. And so they were saying like, oh, memory doesn't happen. It's basically like a YouTube. He didn't say this, but it is like, it's a stream. Dreams are streams, just like YouTube is being streamed or whatever. And then, but it's not being stored. You're not recording. It's not a recording. It's not a playback. It's not a VHS. It's not a DVD. It's not a memory card. It's just a stream. It's just broadcasting, TV channel, radio channel. And do you see where these metaphors come in? And it's important so we can teach the other people, so they can come and understand. It's part of language. It's part of identifying. I can talk to you. I can talk to another scientist, a nerd, and say it how it is using that language and identifying those things. But for the person, like, not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody has been exposed to the things that you have been exposed. So don't assume that they're going to know or believe the same things that you do because they haven't been exposed. They're ignorant to those things. They're not being foolish. They're not fools. They're ignorant. They're ignorant people. And that's not a bad thing. But isn't that the whole point of the podcast? So you can't get upset at somebody that's trying to use metaphors and other things to explain those things. And that's your debate. That's your side of it. Like, oh, you don't have the language, so no. Because Joe Rogan was pushing back. So like, I can teach you how to do certain, fighting moves, and I can, you can come back next week and I say, hey, get a chokehold, do a triangle, do this. You can do those things. It's like, no, it's like, yes, it's repetition. Athletes, the sports, let's look into the other things. Let's be scientists about other things. It's all about like electronics and scientific. Let's go into the streets. Let's go into the hood. Let's go into real life. Let's get physical, into the physical. What the human body, because at the end of the day, if this is simulation or not, you're here. This is what you're doing. I'm listening to you. You're listening to me. We're talking. I'm talking. You're talking. We're all talking. Yes, this microphone is on because you're not, it's happening. And this is where it says like the game. Oh, I lost the game. Like, what game? There you go. Like, the game. Like, you're not supposed to think about the game. If you think about the game, like, you already lost the game. Like, oh, don't think about simulation. It is a simulation. And you see where metaphors helps to make the connections and all that, but you don't have to always use it. To you, it has been given to know the mysteries, the secrets and mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them, it has not. That's why. And you can't let the devil come and steal your knowledge, your credentials, your accreditation of saying that you know what you're talking about because you put in the time. That's why we have titles. That's why we have things. Social media has given people the tools to be broadcasted out there. But that doesn't mean they don't have the accreditations. That's why sources are important. Cite your sources. Where did you get this information from? At the end of the day, who's they? Name they. Like, where are they? Let me talk to they. It doesn't matter. Come up with your own thoughts, your own conclusions, because you're an adult. You're smart. Like, you can think for yourself. So with this whole thing of like, no, there's a transmitter. There's a transmitter and like not an antenna, but you can transmit because we're talking about like DMT and the connections and all that and how our body produces. We're talking about the spirit. The transmitter, it's the spirit. What do you do? This is not a metaphor. What do you do when you pray? You're talking to God, right? We communicate with other things. I don't have to be on drugs. I don't have to be on DMT or anything because my body's already producing it. The whole body's it's my spirit in there. You don't have the equipment to be scanning the spirit and identifying. Like, it's not that you're dumb or anything, just like the metaphors. This is a metaphor within a metaphor. Explain the metaphor. Is that a triple entendre? Is that Inception? I forgot the metaphor. You see, I was within a dream, within a daydream, within a vision. I didn't have to be sleeping to be talking. That's what visions are compared to dreams. Dreams are when you're sleeping. Visions are when you're awake, daydreaming and all that. It's just you don't have the language, you don't have the things to also identify what you're talking about. But people have been talking about it. We're talking about praying, talking to God, bro. We're talking about transmitters and talking. No, 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 bro. Talk about open door policies and hotlines and call times and wait times and AI robots. I want to talk to a real. Let me talk to her. Let me talk to your manager. I'm talking to God, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing with your God? Your God has a waiting room. Does your God make you take a number? Does your God make you do a pilgrimage? Have to walk 500 miles in your knees, on your knees, your hands and knees. You have to do all these rituals and things and all that. My God says, holla at your boy. Talk to me. I can answer your prayers. Knock, and it shall be open. Ask, and it shall be given. It says God came here to serve, not to be served. My God is a serving God. My God. You know, when we say, oh, we're the government. Oh, you're the police. You work for me. God said, I do. I do work for you. I made you and I'm your God. I'm your daddy. He said, I'm your, to call me God. What's up, Alex Cooper? You still owe me a relationship. We're talking your smack. Go back into the history and watch those episodes. That was back in the day, bro. Talk about memories. If memories don't exist, we just created them. We put this somewhere, bro. If they were just streaming, guess what? I just made a memory on a memory card. Double metaphor. Inception, bro. If it's just a streaming service in my head, there must be a provider. Hulu, Netflix, YouTube. Who's a stream? Where are the servers for my streamer things? Let's get deeper into this. Like, oh, I'm getting good at this, bro. This is so interesting. Sheesh. Let's see what we're talking about, bro. Have y'all heard the descriptions of heaven? It's basically a festival. Thunder, lightning. I saw bright lights. Oh, my mouth did something weird, bro. Or is it the refresh rate on the video? It's probably. I gotta go slow. The frame rate on this. Crazy. Anyways, so basically, it's gonna be a festival in heaven. Go. Y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't go read the Bible, bro. Y'all, it's gonna be dope. Y'all think it's gonna be Street of Gold? That's just the angels, the construction crew of the angels saying like, well, where do y'all want this? Silker Park is brown grass. How about if I give you gold? How if I just, you're gonna be dancing on gold. If there's a block party, if you're gonna be standing on the streets, if you're gonna be out on the streets, it's gonna be on gold, bro. You're gonna be skating on gold. Can you skirt? Are there gonna be cars in heaven? Imagine Formula One race on gold pavement. Interesting. But when they say like the streets of gold, oh, we're gonna be in heaven with the mansion. God has his own mansion in heaven for you, dude. Imagine, oh, we're gonna give. How much did they give out in the pandemic and that I never got? How much aid? How much people like to the hurricane victims, y'all? When they're talking about like weather manipulation, that's a simulation, bro. There's some programmers out there programming. Who are the programmers, bro? I want to talk to them. Who's manipulating this? No, bro. No. If you zoom out and if you have the data recording capabilities to record everything and say, hey, AI, hey, whatever, explain to me these patterns of the weather. Like, why did the weather change? Where give me the equation of these things. But oh, we get deep into the things, bro. But it's the world's a Rubik's cube, bro. It's you're gonna have cars and all that. You're gonna, bro. It's science. We can just see the smokes, but if you get the radars and see how much, dude, I've been following weather because it's part of my business. It's part of my job to follow weather. I chase storms for a living, basically, and when you're like, oh, oh, you just done the research, you've just done the work. Somebody has the credentials, and that's the thing. Credentials are there; they're important. So to help other people, like that's their job, bro. Let them do the job. The meteorologist knows what they're talking about because they've gone to school. They do this every day. That's part of being a professional. Anybody can do anything. Excuse me. Professional means they just get paid and make a living. Like that's when you go from an amateur to a professional. It's not the skills or anything. It's just you get paid to do that. That's what makes you a professional. An amateur doesn't get paid to do that. You can have the same skills. A professional can go back to being an amateur. Doesn't mean it's like a beginning. Amateur is just, again, linguistics. Words mean things. Just because you're a professional doesn't mean you actually know what you're talking about. It just means that you get paid to do that. Make up your own thoughts, dude. Like this is what I say about like bullies. Again, theories, because I don't know, bro. I wish I had these thoughts and all that when I was little. I put in the time, believe me. Here, tell your kids, like tell your people, like tell yourself this thing so you don't have to like spend all this time like take it from me, bro. You make up your own ideas, you make up your own thoughts. Like you know what you're talking about. If you know what you're talking about, if like put yourself in between the ages of like 5 and 15 and somebody says like anywhere between like first grade and like sophomore year. Junior year, you should already know what's up. Like freshman year. Sophomore year, okay. Like it took you a little bit, but you got there. Sophomore year. So from first grade to 10th grade. Anybody says about you, you have whatever your eyes, your nose, your ears, your height, your weight, your looks, your style, whatever. Like the whole meditation, the whole thing of, you know, it's being with yourself. It's your spiritual, your mind, what your consciousness is being with you. They're saying like it's asleep. Oh, y'all should go watch Alter Carbon on Netflix. It's wild, bro. But basically, we're spirits, and they kind of mention this. Like the Bible mentions that we are vessels. The Bible calls you servants. It calls you slaves. Like you're working for somebody. You're doing something. Uh, I should have started off with this. We are the AI dummies. Y'all don't realize this. We're talking about a simulation, a creation, a world, and all that. Shouldn't like isn't God the biggest developer, like the coolest, dopest? Like he's God, bro. And we're his creation. And he created an AI. He created a system of human beings. Again, language, metaphors. What did they say back then's magic is today's like technology? Or you're just able to put like words that mean things to think like, bro, we're here, bro. It's just that's where like the whole spiritual thing, but it's hard, bro. It's hard. It's like these kids. Oh, let me bring it back to that kid, that the iPad baby, the iPad kid, the babysitter, iPad, phone, whatever technology, tablet, screen it is. You forget how to talk. You forget how to do all these things. If you can do it spiritually, like if you can ask, and if you study like babies, and because they babble, they can't, but it's repetition. Mom, pop. Like if you break it down linguistically, those words are just said like automatically because those are the more natural sounds. Like it's an explosive sound, and it's a frontal on your lip. Pop, bop, bop, pop, M, P, and a B, because they're frontal with the lips, and they're pop. You breathe out. P, p, pa, pa, ba, ba, da. So you can break it like, anyways. They're babbling because, but they're trying to say things. When they cry, like they're trying to, it's a language. Hey, this hurts. This feels bad. Like this is negative. When they smile, it's a physical thing. Like, but how do you know? And we see this from blind people. Of how do they know? Oh, shout out to what's the homie's name from Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. It's like they notice this from blind people when they win in the Special Olympics. The blind people from birth that they've never seen anybody, they know when they win, they make the V sign. But it's the V sign, it's making them big. I won, I do this. You do this in the animal world. Chimps, like you want to get big because you're being you're dominating over, dude. I didn't realize how tall I am. I almost ran into one of my neighbors on the way to the garage from the hall, because like it was on the corner, and chaparita little, and I'm just like, just because I look down, and even like with these glasses when I'm recording and all that, when I see the videos, like Charlie has even asked me, and there's some videos where like this is what my like boyfriend sees. I'm like, yes, I see the top of your head like the whole time. Like I can see the top of the fridge. I can, it's different point of views. Like, and even when I watch my Ray-Ban videos back, I'm like, this is exactly like my point of view. But it's with the phone, you're down here. So this angle, it does changes from here to here. And so there's where how did I get with the point of view? And they're looking in the hall, the tall, short. But anyways, I digress. Your own thoughts, your own opinions. If a bully like makes fun of you, like you know who you are. Oh, dominance, the V, making things, your DNA, the memory. You see, there's connections. It's in your DNA. Those memories, those things are stored in there. When you practice something, when you do repetition, it's being stored in your DNA. That's when they say like, "Oh, practice makes perfect." No, like, well, one, nothing's perfect. Like you're not gonna ever get to the perfection, and if you do a perfection, like the conditions of whatever of a pitch are not the same. The track is not gonna be the same. You might be driving in the sandy dunes of Sandward, or you might be driving in heaven in the streets of gold. Like they're gonna be different. You might be in high altitude in a Mexico, or you can be by the sea in Melbourne. And it's a night race, it's a day race. Like it's not perfection, it's permanent. That's where we see habits, and why, like, oh, if you keep doing it, it becomes a habit, and it's hard to break your habit because it's in your DNA. You make it a habit, like your neurons carve a pathway, just like when you walk on grass and you keep walking on grass, you're going to create that pathway. That's what the neurons and all that, and that's what they like. We don't have a memory problem, we have an access to the memory problem. Those roads, those things, again, metaphors, we have to use these things to explain because we're not in there. Like we have to get the picture, and we don't have the visuals. If I can get the visuals, this is language, this is what we're talking about. So you can't use the language like, oh, you can't use metaphors to do this. Like, no, bro, we do have to use language. And if we can't use language, that's why there's hieroglyphics in the pyramids, bro. They're trying to tell you something. Look at all these things around the Petra, dude. I'm not impressed by this. I know who did it. There's pictures of the homies up having a lunch break. I know. I'm not impressed, bro. They're just machines, bro. Petra, you carved a city, and not even just like a whole thing from the rocks. But it's not just that. Like, look into the things. Apparently, the place was like Vegas, bro. It was popping. Petrol was popping. It was an oasis in the middle of nowhere, but they had water. They had all these things. I'm impressed by that because if we're gonna say like if we're gonna base it off the technology, we have iPhones now and Teslas, and that's how we did it. But back then, there was no iPad, there was no lasers, there was no drills, allegedly, and they did it. That's impressive, bro. That's wild. So all this it's already been explained by the Bible, but it's they lack the language and the translation. So that's why we have to go back and make your own conclusions. Like, no, think about it. Like, yes, that's what it is. To me, I'm like the pyramids. No, they found a way of how to make, just like how we know how to make concrete. Like, bro, think about it. It just makes common sense unless you can say, but again, we don't have the language. We don't have the understanding. That's when they say, like, oh, you walk into the sphere in Las Vegas and like, oh, that's so crazy because you haven't never seen it. But keep going. It's going to be, and they build one in every big city in the United States. Then 10 years from now, I'm like, oh, the sphere, like, that's it. Like, we've did all these things. Again, just like the nuclear bomb metaphor. Would that be a metaphor if I compared it? Compare that to all these other things. Again, we're not gonna think it's wild. If we go into the past, we're not gonna be impressed if we go back into the past. But if you go into the future, it's gonna be wild, bro. It's like when you go to Six Flags or Disneyland or any amusement, like you're there for the first time, or like all these people causing all this traffic in the Austin downtown area. Like you've never seen a downtown area before, bro. Like keep it pushing. If you really want to go in there, park, take a picture, get back in your car, and keep it pushing, brother. Like we got places to be. Like, why are you slowing down? Like, let the people merge. Get off the highway. Get on the highway. Let's go. Why are we going slow on the highway, bro? People can't think for themselves. Like, bro, it's just a downtown. Hey, but every time I'm there, yeah, I'm taking a video of it. But just make up your own thoughts, make up your own conclusions. Like, yes. And check yourself. And that doesn't mean like if you think, oh, the earth is flesh, shut up, bro. That's not what we're talking about. Like, we're talking to the grown-ups here, to the adults. Pobrecito de ti or de tú, whatever, him or her. It's they're oh, it's a breakthrough. No, bro. They're gonna say alien. No, they're spirits. They're spirits. We're talking. It's been there. Talking about the angel Gabriel when he went to I said was it Isaiah? And he said, no. No, wait. Isaiah? Or Daniel. To Daniel. Or Isaiah. I think it was Isaiah. Oh, help me and all that. And Isaiah said, hey, your prayers were answered already. Like when you prayed them, when we got, hey, it was right there. We didn't put you on hold, bro. We didn't put you on the waiting room. You didn't have to take a number. When we heard your prayer, bro. Direct line. Hotline bling. Hotline bling, bro. Right there. Bring, bring. Your current wait time is now, bro. What's up? I'll at your boy. But he said there's wars. There was war in the skies. I had to fight all these people. It took me 21 days, 27 days to get here. I had to I had to murk some people, bro. I had to murk some spirits. An angel, a messenger. That's what an angel is, a messenger of God. He's trying to give you some words. He's trying to say something. He's trying to talk to your boy, bro. He's like, there were answers. We got your request. We got your prayer. I heard you hollering at us. So we're gonna come down, but I'm not God. I'm an angel. I'm just a messenger. I had to fight all this homies on the way, bro. There were bandits on the road. There were some brothers on the street. They were G checking me. They were Gabriel checking me. What's up, G? What's up, Gabriel? What you got there? He said, what you got? Oh, you got a message for Daniel? For Isaiah? I gotta go back and check my notes. These spirits said, holla at your boy. Run it. They said to the angel Gabriel, oh, those size. What size wings are those? And the angel Gabriel, he said, size mine. And he flapped away. And then he had to John Wick them, bro. It talks about it in the Bible, bro. We want to talk about like the Hindu religion and talk. Have you read the Bible of what it talks? Chariots on fire. Aliens, bro. Aliens. And it's crazy. It's wild from all the things that the Bible talks about that they're trying to keep us ignorant about. But it's there. We have Bibles. Read them while you have them. Like now, dude, one of my favorite books growing up, Fahrenheit 453? Fahrenheit 459? 453? Yo, a couple degrees. Can keep that book cooking but not burning. Fahrenheit 453. They made a movie. Michael B. Jordan was in the movie. Fahrenheit 451, bro. Ray Bradbury. 451. Close. The Price is Right, dude. You were over it. The price is not right. Fahrenheit 451. I was like, damn, those science fiction. But the reason why that book, because this book, when was this book written? It's all history. It happens again. This book, 1953, bro. They talk about seashells in your ears. They're talking about earbuds. They're talking about Apple Pro, Beats, wireless headphones, bro. The little ones that LeBron James was with the little hook, seashells in your ears. They're talking about billboards being so big because cars are going so fast that those billboards got to be so big, like that the people haven't stopped to smell the flowers because they've been driving so fast that they forget to slow down. They forgot, like, it's like, have you ever tasted rain? Do you know what rain tastes like? Have you ever stopped and go outside and like felt rain? Have you ever read a book? You don't know what, like, they keep you ignorant from those things, but go out there just like the hipsters say, like, take out your shoes and go out in the grass and you got to ground yourself. You kind of do, bro. You kind of do. You got to take the good from everybody. You got to Genghis Khan everybody. Oh, you're good at this. You're good at that. This is good for this. Like, yo, I do yoga as a Christian, but now that's namaste. Like, one, kind of, I want to namaste in bed. Two, I want to, dude, that was a lame joke, bro. That was a cheap joke. That was an easy one. That was an alley-oop layup, finger roll. Easy, bro. Easy. I got him. Like when, bro, I don't want to hear it because the 7-Eleven rhyming scheme and all those music. Oh, it was a 7 and then she took me to heaven and it was 11. The music was at 7, and then we turned it up to 11. Or the 7-Eleven heaven. I had another point, but I forgot. Okay. Anyways, I digress. I come back. Memory does exist. We just don't have the device. I'm repeating myself like he is. I already said this. We just don't have the devices to scan them and identify them, all those things, right? So the memory does exist, bro, just like pheromones. Like, just give it some time, bro. Just give it some time. You can't put that mountain in front of your heart and just be stuck married to your thing. That's why words mean different things. Married. I saw a video and the homegirl, they were in the porch and the homegirl was recording the man. And she says, swear to me. And the guy goes immediately, you, this, and that. And it's like, no, not swear, like promise me. Oh, like not cuss at me, promise. It's like, oh, words mean things and syntax. Like, you should have finished that sentence, bro. Anyways, there it is. Like, we have the ability, and I think I've talked about my last one of my other episodes where I says you have the power. You have to believe in yourself that you have all these capabilities. Like that. Do you think that's like one of the reasons are like, don't talk about the Christians? Like, here's all these other distractions, music, concerts, like all these things, drama, like riot technology to keep you away from like your actual powers of like being Christians and being able to think for yourself. Like when the other episodes, like you're the light of the world, like we're supposed to bring you out there, but no, they want chaos. They want all these things, disasters, so they can happen, so they can make money. Like they're in the business, and like how do they keep it? Like the business has been so big that they got into the marketing, to the things. That's what it is. Like the news, the things, like everything is marketed to control you. Aliens. This is not what the podcast is about, but we got there. We got there, and it's just thinking. It's a freestyle. I'm just thinking, just brainstorming, thinking out there. But is it crazy what I'm talking about? Like they got so big that they made Hollywood, that they make the music things and all that. Like I just saw a comment like two homegirls doing a podcast like, oh, guys, males have all the hobbies. They have golf, they have baseball, racing, blah, 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 video games, but girls don't have anything common. We're roasting them like y'all can just talk, bro. Like imagine if girls had hobbies, like, and nobody's stopping you from doing anything. Like when they say like, oh, the industry, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, yo, somebody break it down. Somebody made those that business. Somebody started that business. Look into the history of that business, where it came, the pageants and all this other things. Look at what Tyler Perry did. He went and created his own thing. Shout out to Tyler Perry. As a business, if you're an entrepreneur and all that, study Red Bull, study Tyler Perry, like what they're doing. Tyler Perry made his own thing, bro. It's wild. And with this whole, like, even Joe Rogan talked about it, like, yo, we're going to construct all this, but then AI and all that. That's Tyler Perry. And what is Elon Musk? The people, the businesses that are going to survive are the ones that learn it and adapt and know how to use AI, and the people don't, because you're in a level playing field, but you have AI and they don't have AI. Tyler Perry's like, I got to learn how to use AI because everybody else is going to beat me, because they're going to be doing, Hollywood is going to be doing it. If they're going to be doing it, I'm trying to do my own things. Like, holla at your boy, dude, but I'm not a rapper, but I just felt like Eminem saying all those things. So elevator, so elevator music is elevator music. Levitated, whatever one speaking to, but I'm not a rapper. Shout out to Eminem. I'm trying to go see him at the Circuit of the Americas on Saturday for the sprint race and qualifying. Like, dude, I was like, what? I forgot it was a whole sprint thing. So the whole weekend is popping, bro. Saturday you have practice, and then you have qualifying on Friday, bro. If you get a single day, you get a qualifying on Friday, bro. Bam, 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 bam. If you go on Saturday, you're not going for the race, right? You're going on Saturday. Bam, you get a sprint race. Then you get another qualifying. Holla at your boy. And then if you go on Saturday, oh, let me take it back. If you go Friday, you get the practice one. Chill. Then you get that sprint race. Oh, No, you get a qualifying for the sprint, right? And you get a performance by Sting. Saturday. You get the sprint race and a qualifying, and you get the Eminem show. Sheesh. And then Sunday, you get the race. Who's going to win? And Lewis Hamilton, dude. I want Lewis Hamilton. I want Lando Norris to win because I want him to get the world championship title and give it to Red Bull, even though I'm like a Red Bull fan because of Sergio Perez. There's where my loyalties are. I'm a Formula One fan, so I go for Formula One. But I go for Red Bull because I have Sergio Perez. But the homie Lando Norris, yo, para que se le quita el Matt Verstappen for doing sim racing at 3 a.m, be a professional, bro. Be a professional. Or maybe he's like, hey, don't listen to me. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. If you're like, dude, this is too easy, I can still sim race at 3 a.m, and I still won the championship. And you beat me by, like, I beat you by a point. He's going to say the same thing, the Fast and the Furious. Win by a mile or win by a bumper. A win's a win. Lando Norris, I almost had you. So I want Lando Norris to do that. But I want Lewis Hamilton because I want to cry. Dude, I want to go. Because that's the last time Lewis Hamilton is going to be at a Mercedes. I became a Formula One fan, and my hero in the beginning was Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton. But then all these things happen, and then I'm like, Mercedes with Valtteri Bottas. They did my man Valtteri Bottas dirty, bro. That was Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan, bro. Valtteri Bottas was Scottie Pippen to Lewis Hamilton, bro. And the Mercs did him dirty, bro. And I was like, nah. But then Red Bull came in and said, hey, let's get that Telmex money. Let's get that Pemex and Telcel and all those sponsors you got, Sergio. Pay me. Sergio Perez is a paid driver, bro. That's why he's in Red Bull. It's all business. Like, people talk so smack about Sergio Perez. Oh, he's not performing. Guess what? He's bringing in the money. Cállense la boca, bro. He's not going anywhere. That's what. Do you think he put the Wolf of Wall Street just because it was the Wolf of, like, because it was just that scene of like, I'm not going anywhere? No, there's more deep into it. He was saying like, yo, I'm bringing that money, bro. I'm bringing like what he's the Wolf of Red Bull. That's gonna be his. Oh, I'm gonna make a banner. The Wolf of Red Bull. Sergio Perez, bro. The Wolf of Red Bull. I said it first, bro. I said it first. If somebody else hasn't said it on that tweet, the Wolf, because it's not that creative. The Wolf of Red Bull, Sergio Perez. But Robert Epstein, memories does exist. It's out there. God exists. You're created by him. You're in this. You're in this world. We've been cursed. It is a simulation, in the simulation where it's like the developer and all that. Like, we want to think about a Nintendo 64. Like, oh, we're playing. There's somebody saying like, oh, they're gonna do all this where they're gonna try to put like go into the AI into the. You're trying to be Tron, bro. Tron. Daft Punk came out in the movie Tron. That's what you're trying. It's been history, bro. You're trying to repeat history. You're trying to do a Tron, bro. Nothing's new. Just the technology is advancing. We're going to be able to have this capabilities to do those things. But here's the thing. We're talking about the spirit. Don't be afraid of who can kill the body. Be afraid of the one who can kill the spirit. Dun, dun, dun. Así como Dan Carlin will finish him. Dun, dun, dun. But guess what? The Bible still continues. There's so many other things, bro. It's wild. It's interesting. But aliens are real. They've been out here. Advanced civilizations have been here, bro. Think about Miami. Not Miami. Why do I keep saying Miami? Referring to Florida as Miami. Because think about Florida. How long did it take to construct Florida? Florida wasn't built in a day. Why did it get so bright? Let me. How can I adjust this thing? Did I change it? I didn't mean to have it red. Oh, I think I did. Anyways, with this 3 tornadoes in a year, hurricanes, with this hurricanes that like all the destruction, dude. Imagine that happens. People don't move back to Florida. It's like, yo, we're gonna lose it next year. We're gonna lose it in 2, 5, 10 years. Like, nah. People stop living in Florida, right? Hypothetically speaking. Let's go a little sci-fi here. Blow in 10, 20, 30 years with like hurricanes after hurricanes and just washing it, winds, and like people don't take care of it. The landscape just takes over. It goes back to the earth. It's a Rubik's Cube metaphor. Then 100 years, 200, 300, 500 years. Think about that in perspective. What's going to happen to the land? And we're talking about 100, 200 years, bro. You guys don't know how to do math. You guys don't see. Here's the thing. Don't take these people too serious of what they're talking about and do all this. Be able to think. They don't even know numbers. Simple numbers. 10 years, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, what it can do in 2 decades, 3 decades, in half a century, what we were doing in the 1920s, bro. 100 years. We were in the Great Depression. And now you're listening to me on a podcast. Interesting. I don't know what else to say. But think for yourself. You're a grown up. You're an adult. Don't let the devil steal your credentials, your identity, your authority, your power, because he's stealing those things from you. We often think that when we say steal, kill, and destroy, or divide, or any variations that the devil came to do, when they say steal, oh, he's going to steal my possessions, my cars, my things. He's going to take, kind of like the story of Job, where his family was taken from him, where his cattle, his animals were taken from him, from his houses, his businesses, everything materialistic and all that were taken from him. But let's go away from the physical, from the materialistic and all that. Let's go into the spiritual, into the mental, into the brain, into the thoughts. There's power, there's credentials, there's thoughts, those are ideas. There's that he's stealing those things from you too. There's 2 things. We're spiritual and physical. There's 2 things. You have to believe in those things. And that's where faith comes in. It's language that we're having. Like, you have to, like, trust me, bro. And people with credentials, that's why we say, like, we believe the Bible because it was written by the homies that were with them. And don't believe the people, oh, they were written 100 years after the Christ. No, dude. Look at those things. They were doing them right there. Mark, Luke, Matthew. Didn't they follow? Aren't those the authors? Those weren't, like, if they're written, aren't going to say, oh, the biography of Michael Jackson, the biography of Tyson. Oh, he didn't write it in the 80s. They didn't write it when it was happening. It was later when they came. No, bro. Because just like now, like, oh, Michael Jackson's already dead. It's been 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Like, now we can talk about it. The family, the times are different. Okay, we can talk about it. We can do this. They're being persecuted. You wanted to, think about all this. You wanted them to be writing a book while they're being persecuted? Do y'all know how Peter died? Crucified upside down? Because they're being persecuted. They all were persecuted. None of them survived. None of them died to, like, when they're in old age. Not even John. The way John from the book of the Revelations, like, died. Look at the way they killed him, bro. And you want to say, wouldn't you deny it at that point? Peter wasn't being tortured when they asked him, hey, aren't you Peter, the one that was following Jesus and denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed? Later on, he got tortured and crucified upside down because he believed in Jesus Christ being the Son of God. How much faith are you going to have to let that happen to you? Are you not going to squeal? Are you not going to tell? Are you not going to tell them what they want to hear? Crazy stuff, right? We want to believe all these things, but we want to be ignorant about others. No, we're adults. There's levels to society. What level of society are you at? Are you like where you're at the adults table where we agree on things, where we let the market set the price, the value on our words, on our thoughts, on our morals, on our standards, on our things? This is America. It's cultures. That's what makes cultures, boundaries, limits that identify this from another thing, bro. Like, learn. Oh, dude. I have faith for humanity because you guys are not stupid. You guys are not dumb. You guys were made in the image of God. Our God. My God. And I'm saying our God because my thoughts, my beliefs, that's who He created everybody, bro. Okay. I'm saying our God, you don't have to accept Him, believe Him, or anything. It's a smart, beautiful, loving God. Oh, what about the killings and all? Hey, you want to talk smack? I'll smack you across the face, bro. If you want to come out here to my house and steal my stuff, that's what He's doing it, bro. Does he not have the right to do whatever? Like in Texas, right? You can do whatever you want with your property. You can destroy your car. You can destroy your house. You can destroy your properties. You can break all these things. The cops come and they're like, he's breaking that house. Who owns the house? He can do whatever he wants with his house and all that. God can do the same thing. Holla at your boy. Let's not, oh, they're doing that. He's Lord. He's King. He is God, bro. I'm just made from dust. He said, let there be light. I had to have my father Adam had to have the breath of life blown into him for him to be alive. And then Eve was made from Adam, if that's what we believe, right? I'm just created. I'm just a baby. But God can do, bro. Where am I? Hey, what are you doing with what's yours, bro? Oh, I had a crazy thought. Okay? Yes, but that's the same God. That's the same God that loves me, that cares. Like, you have to, like Jordan Peterson, like, you should be able to, like, do all this. Yeah, you should, bro. Like, because there's going to be some Aztecs, some Vikings that are going to come. What are you going to be like, England? Okay, I'll pay you. No, you got to be like, hey, this is mine, homie. This is my kid. This is my child. This is my stuff. I'm coming for me. You want to do what? You want to come kill, steal, and destroy? You want to take what's mine? You want to take what I work, what I created? You want to do what, Satan? You want to y'all got to read the Bible before you start talking smack. Oh, again, if you're on the comments and you're out there, will the real Slim Shady please stand up and introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do? Like, what are your credentials? Step up to the mic so we can all hear you and talk clearly. What have you done? Before you who? What? We've never heard of you. How do we know we can trust you? What are your sources? What have you studied? What have you done? What's your track record? Because we don't. Well, that's been the podcast. Please think for yourselves. Life is awesome. The world is awesome. There's so many things out there. You're powerful. You're made in the image of God. You don't think you have powers, bro? We're just getting started, bro. We're just getting started. Yeah. Crazy stuff, bro. And we're going to be out here saying, we told you so. But it's history. It's been done before. It's like we've sent prophets. We sent all. Keep reading. It says right there. But y'all didn't listen. They didn't listen. Look what they did. Jesus says, I sent Isaiah, bro. Look what you guys did to Isaiah, the prophet. Because they say, like, it was the first Isaiah, and then Jesus, they thought Isaiah was God incarnated. And then, because even John the Baptizer asked Jesus, are you Isaiah? Or like, are you the one to come? Or should I keep waiting? Ooh, John was standing on business, bro. He said, how can I trust that you are who you say you are, the Son of God? Sheesh, bro. But he knew from the beginning, because if you go back, when Mary went to go see her cousin, La Prima Elizabeth, the mom of John the Baptizer, it talks about how Elizabeth, John the Baptizer, because he's already in Elizabeth's belly, in his mom's belly, jumped and realized, like, and he said, you're with, like, my Lord. He was already, Elizabeth was the first one to acknowledge that Jesus Christ in the belly of Mary was Lord. Sheesh, bro. You guys don't even know that. Like, the name Elizabeth has, like, important. The first person that acknowledged that Jesus was Lord, bro. The first human. Dun, dun, dun. So if your name is Elizabeth, you have power. Not just you, Elizabeth, but whatever your name is, you are made in the image of God. You're a child of God. Satan has tried to do his things, but you're still here. It's never too late to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, to believe in the Bible, what it says, and to be living this life. Because look at the intentions. They're good intentions. What other religion's gonna say that their God is here to serve you, bro? Customer service, ring ring. How can I help you? Give me your prayers. That I'm the light. You don't have to do anything. You just have to believe and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You don't have to change. You don't have to do all those things. He will change you afterwards. It's amazing. It's beautiful. What other religion says? Love your neighbors. Love who's ever to your left and to your right, the front, whoever's around. Love who's ever around you. Treat them nice. There's commandments. Hey, for the morals, for the standards and all that. There's standards. That's been the podcast. I don't know what I said. I don't even know if I talked about the transmitters and all that, but I think I did. Connect the dots, fill in the blanks, read between the lines, come up with your own thoughts and your own opinions. I hope this helped for you to be able to think for yourself. It was fun. I got out of my system. Until the next time. Bye-bye.